Sifuna himself. And I cannot tell you the number of times, even in meetings, that we discussed the issue of Edwin Sifuna's personal positions vis-a-vis party positions. And the difference was when Baba was there and he told Edwin Sifuna, look, this one, I think, don't go too far. Don't go here. Don't go there. He listened. When it comes to our new leader, whom we need to support more because we need to, he needs to stabilize, and stabilize the institution. That is not the case. There is no respect. There is no, he can say, let's do this or let's do the other. And in fact, Edwin Sifuna came to Mombasa for the National Governing Council of the party and took the party leader through the process of his confirmation at the NGC and swore him in. Actually, the person conducting that whole process was Sifuna. But then he came back and said, this party leader is in this position illegally. You see, so it's a world of difference. He would never say that to Baba. He would never say Baba is illegitimate. He would never come publicly and criticize his leader. And that's why it was always possible to bring things together, because all of us could fight even down here, but all of us would say, when Baba will tell us, we will align. But in this case, even the leader that he put there in Mombasa, he came and said that is an illegitimate leader. So once the leader is delegitimized, this is the difference between Raila era and Dr. Buru era. The Sifuna of Raila was more refrained, could listen to Baba, could step back and I know numerous times that Baba said stop, and he did. But in this case of Dr. Buru, there is no stopping him from anything. He first of all said the leader is illegitimate. Once you delegitimize the leader of an organization, there's no organization there.
Governor, when you talk about the new leadership that is expected to be ratified tomorrow, including, of course, the leadership of Oburu Oginga, there is this question of the party has 4 deputy party leaders. There was no deputy, 3. There was no deputy party leader that was felt to be fit in that position as we wait for this special NDC that will ratify a certain member. Why did the party rather go for someone who was not part of the hierarchy of the deputy party leadership?
Grace, you remember even when Baba was leaving for AU, he brought in Professor Nyang' Nyong'o was not a deputy party leader, but as a founding member who would unite people at the time, he brought him in to be acting party leader. When you lose a leader of that magnitude, there's likely to be push and pull. So you could make a decision to have a figure that can unite in the meantime, can bring people together, can consolidate, before then people go on to the issue of choosing the leader. And by the way, it is the deputy party leaders themselves who proposed Dr. Buru. Dr. Buru was proposed by Abdul Samad and seconded by Simba, in the recognition that with that sudden demise, just propping one person over the rest, because these are peers, If we had only one deputy party leader, it might be a different story. But these are peers. So if you prop one and not the others, you can cause a lot of division. So that also was the wisdom that Baba used when he was going to the AU. And it's the same wisdom we applied. We said Dr. Buru has worked with Baba. They are, brothers. He was Baba's advisor. He was, he can be a stabilizing factor in the, as we move towards the general election.
All right. Ndu, before we talk about the special SDC, for 20 years, this is the first time that we are seeing a split in ODM. And it's really sad when we're having a certain faction that says they want this and another faction clearly saying that they want another. You are part of the team that initially, not too long ago, were criticizing the Kenya Kwanza government. But now, of course, you're siding with the broad-based government, and now you are aligning with the president and his policies. One may ask, where did all things change? And then number 2, when Raila Odinga was alive, as much as he was still in the broad-based government, he never shied off from criticizing the government. So far from your end, is everything sailing smoothly, because we've never had you criticize anything about the broad-based government?
Yeah, so let me start by the first point you raised, that this is 20 years and ODM has never split. I want to tell you that all these people you see, including William Ruto, who are founder members of ODM, whether it's Ruto, whether it's Musalia, whether it's look at every leader across this country. Many of them founded the ODM party, but they left at some point, and they grew to, become whoever they are today. Some also fell off. You remember we had secretaries general like Ababu and the others. They've fallen off along the way. So this is not the first time that 2 or 3 people feel like they have to leave the party, or they have to take a different position. So that position, even when Baba was here, there were people who, left, and Baba continued to consolidate and still build on the party. So this is not unique. It's not the first time. Coming on to the issue of the broad-based government and that I have been a critic. It is true. I did not vote for William Ruto. Neither did I vote for the broad-based the Kenya Kwanza government. I've also been a member of parliament for a long time on ODM, and I have been a fierce critic of regime after regime because we've been in the opposition largely, and that is our responsibility. Now, when we for purposes of stabilizing the country in 2024 moved into a broad-based arrangement, then we have to find points of convergence. And you're right that every time there was something that went wrong, Baba always said no. And even when things go wrong, for example, even on my end, when I feel, for example, there's infringement on our party's bases, or when I feel something is wrong, I may not come to public criticism. Sometimes I do come to public criticism, but many times I raise it in the relevant places that I feel that this needs to be corrected or this needs to be worked on. If, for example, on devolution, we have said publicly we want the monies to be increased, and that one we continue to push. But Grace, we are part of this broad-based government as ODM. It's good for people not to be. It's good for us not to cheat the public, to come here and say, no, we are not part of it. No, we only sent people. No, we only did this. It's just important for us to tell the public the truth, that ODM, our deputy party leaders are now ministers in government. People who are our deputy party leaders, our chairman, our minority leader, we are part of the broad-based government. That is one. And therefore, as much as possible, we have to support what we think is positive around it.
Does it fall in line with what Raila Odinga fought for the longest time? And I asked that question piggybacked on another. When the things that Edwin Sifuna, who, by the way, is he the Secretary General of ODM or not?
We removed him as Secretary General and he went to court. So he's a court Secretary General at the moment.
He's a court agreed, court allowed Secretary General of ODM?
He's a court agreed, and the matter will be determined today. Yeah.
So as the other side of the leadership of ODM, you do not recognize Edwin Sifuna as the Secretary General?
No, because we removed him, and we removed him for reasons that we stated, okay? And which is that it was no longer tenable for him to speak on behalf of the party, because any party decisions, and by the way, it could be me, for example. The party could take a position that is different from what I believe. And I would say, look, I can no longer speak, this language. I'm sorry. So I cannot, it is no longer tenable for me to hold this position. I will be a member of the party.
Okay.
I will be a governor of the ODM party, but it is no longer tenable for me to be spokesperson on behalf of the party because I don't believe in those issues. So we removed Sifuna. We have Catherine Omanyo, who's a Deputy Secretary General, who's now the one acting as Secretary General. But the court, when Sifuna went to court to challenge the process of his removal, the court gave him a stay. As a law and order party, we have to recognize that. So today, we will know from the tribunal, and this is the political party's tribunal.
Yeah.
We will know that he has been reinstated. Then he is reinstated, and we have to now, if we still believe on our former position, we have to begin a new process.
Okay.